Let's face the reality, your music fucking sucks, doesn't it? Well, mine did too a few years ago, and thankfully you clicked on this video because there is literally only one thing that I needed to change in order to take my music from absolutely terrible, not being able to even finish a song, into now being able to finish any song that I want and actually make it sound good. Now, this one thing is not a better microphone. It's not me selling you a vocal preset. It's not more practice. It's not my coaching. It's none of these things. But when you do fix this one thing, you're gonna watch your music change. And a lot of people aren't going to believe me when I say this. They're going to click off this video once I start to explain the thing because it's confusing. It sounds like it's fake, whatever. People are going to do what they want to do with this information. But I'm telling you right now, from my experience, this is the one thing that you need to change in order to start to see your music make the most drastic change you will ever see your music make. So hopefully by the end of this video, you will actually see the root of the problem. You're going to understand how to fix it, and you're going to be able to make that change finally so that the music that you are making sounds better. Now, about 2 years ago, I remember I would load up FL Studio every single fucking day. And I was never able to actually make good music. Like, I was practicing. I was watching videos teaching me how to do a specific type of new effect, or I would try and study these boring fucking things that didn't interest me at all. But just because I wanted to make better music, I would do everything that I could to learn the things that I needed to learn. And it was like every single time that I tried to make music, it just felt like I just didn't have what it took to make music. I would go and try and write some lyrics, and my brain wouldn't be able to make any lyrics. They were all coming out generic. It just sounded like shit. And then when I would actually think of some lyrics, because maybe I found a really good beat, I would put the lyrics onto the beat, and it would just sound ass. And it was just this loop of ton of motivation. Whoop-de-doo, we're gonna make a new song. I go find a beat, I put the beat in, and it sounds like ass when I try and write lyrics. I couldn't think of any lyrics, and then I would go and record lyrics if I could think of some, and then it would sound like ass. And then maybe once in a great while, I would actually think of something that sounded good, and I would be able to make a song, right? Well, there's actually a reason that this happens, and it's something that you've probably not been told by any other YouTubers who make videos on this type of stuff, because they just don't understand it. Most people don't understand this concept, and you don't either. The concept that I'm talking about is your self-image, or what you see yourself as. So here's an example of what I'm going to tell you. And now I understand you're going to think, what the fuck does self-image have to do with me being a musician? This is just bullshit. I'm going to click off this video, but just give me a second. Let's say that when you were younger, maybe you were in a math class, okay? And you always, just from the start, had bad grades. Maybe your very first test, maybe you took in fucking first grade or something, you just did shit on it. And one of the teachers and then your parents told you that you suck at math. You are now going to implant that belief into your head that you suck at math. And now every single time that you try and apply yourself in math, you just have this image of yourself in your head that you already suck at math. So there's no point in trying. There's no point in putting in effort because you know that you're going to fail. And then because of that lack of effort, and because of that belief that you have about yourself, you are now never going to actually try with math, meaning that you're always going to fail at math. And then that continues to loop around because you're just confirming with the results that you're getting from not trying that you suck at math. So it confirms that initial belief that you suck at math, right? This is essentially what's going to happen with you as a musician. When you are starting out with music, I remember when I started out with music, I remember when I was sat in my room, and my mother's a great lady, but she would tell me that I sounded like shit and I was terrible at singing. And this planted the belief in me that I suck at singing. And because of that, I continued to suck at singing because that's all I thought of myself as. Anytime that I would actually sound good to myself, I would just tell myself, but I'm not a good singer. So I would just kind of ignore that. I would block it out, and I would not see life through the lens of someone that was actually good at singing. I would see it through the lens of I suck at singing. So I would confirm that belief anytime I heard myself sing and it sounded like shit. So now this is essentially what is happening to you. Anytime that you go to make a song, you have this self-image of yourself that you're not a musician. You're not someone that's good at music. You're not someone that has good vocals. You're not someone that is able to write good lyrics. You're not someone that's creative. You're not any of these things. Therefore, what do you expect to happen? If you ask yourself right now, do you think you're a musician? You're gonna say no. You're gonna say, no, I sound like shit. I'm not good at this, right? So then what happens to you is when you go to actually make a song, you're gonna hear that it sounds like shit, and it's gonna confirm to you that you are shit at making music, and it's an endless loop. Now, I went through this exact same thing, and when I actually realized that what I needed to do was not focus on these external things, and what I needed to focus on was just the belief I had about myself and the image that I held for myself. Once I actually changed that image in my brain, like I'm going to show you how to do, my YouTube channel skyrocketed. I started gaining a lot of subscribers, and I'll put a screenshot on the screen of when I started to do this. I'm telling you, bro. This shit is real, bro, and it works for everything in your life too. Like, this is life-changing advice. It's not just for your music. But so now what you need to do is you need to think to yourself what beliefs you hold about yourself and what you think you personally suck at. If you personally think that you are a bad singer, well, what you need to do is you need to start to think of yourself as someone who is good at singing. Now, there's actually a tactic that you can use to essentially get your brain to start to actually think that you are someone that is better. What you need to understand is that your brain doesn't know the difference between real and fake. If you close your eyes and you think of a bear opening your door and starting to attack you, you will actually feel your heart start to beat. Or for some of us, thinking of a woman walking past us on the street and giving us eye contact, it gets our hearts going, right? Our brain doesn't know the difference between real and fake. It doesn't know what is reality and what is not reality and our imagination. It doesn't know the difference. So now I want you to think of how powerful it would be if you were to see in your brain for a second you being someone that is not the current you. Imagine, for example, I was fat 4 years ago and I started to see myself in my head as someone who was skinny with ab. What do you think that's gonna do to me, bro? That's how you change your self-image. You start to see yourself as someone different. If you currently see yourself as someone who sucks at writing lyrics, you see yourself as someone who doesn't know how to hit the notes, you see yourself as someone who doesn't know how to make good flows, doesn't know how to, like I said, write lyrics, that's what's going to happen. But if you see yourself for a second, just a second, in your head as someone who can do those things, your brain is going to start to follow along with that. So now the actual steps that I'm going to tell you to take are going to be a little confusing. They're going to be a little hard to get used to, but there's tons of scientific research on this kind of stuff. What you want to do is you want to take time every single day to visualize yourself as that person that you want to be. If you want to be someone who knows how to write good lyrics, I want you to take 5 minutes a day to close your eyes and see yourself as someone who can write lyrics. Just imagine yourself sitting at the notepad and you're seeing yourself write these lyrics like it's nothing. You're seeing yourself be able to freestyle different words and you just see yourself as that person. Now what that's going to do is now in your brain, it doesn't know the difference between real and fake. It doesn't realize that this isn't you. It thinks this is you. And now what's going to happen is automatically your brain is just going to change into that type of person because that's your new reality, because it doesn't know the difference. Now my camera just fucking died, but that is literally the last action step that I need to tell you for this. Just start to visualize yourself as a different person. This will absolutely change everything for you, and I know it's something that other people don't talk about, and it's something you might think is bullshit, but I'm telling you this is not bullshit. It changed my life. It will change your life if you apply it. It's completely different to the other advice you're gonna get, such as like buy my vocal preset or some bullshit. If you need one-on-one help from me and you want to boost your music even faster, I have an online community where I teach people who are struggling how to get better. I will literally give you feedback on your music, give you like one-on-one help. Go first link in the description. It's insane how much value you get in that if you join that. First link in the description, go click that right now and you'll learn about all of this kind of shit and more shit that I've learned over the past 6 years of making music. Thank you for watching. Sorry my webcam died. I love you, bro. Mwah.